morning, mathematicians. I don't know if you heard me say that or not. I started saying it, and then I didn't know if the stream had started. Upcoming. That's not true. I'm typing in Discord and it says streamer mode, so I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means. I guess I'll look at the video afterwards to see, does that hide all messages? Yeah. I think we're going to get back to spectral sequences tomorrow, because lots of people have been asking about it. Always gotta like your own video for good luck in the algorithm. It's interesting. I mean, my spectral sequences videos, my spectral sequences live streams are way less viewed than my usual live streams, and yet more people have been asking about them. I think that's kind of the whole. That's kind of this channel in a nutshell. You know, it's like I've got some videos that have really popped off. Hey, Seek, been a while. Hope you're doing well. I've had some videos that have really popped off, but you know, the ones that people seem to be most passionately interested in are the ones that are, you know, on niche topics. So, yeah, Boris, where were you during the spectral sequence? I thought maybe you just weren't interested, and that's why you weren't. Oh, you bring 20 bots along. Okay, I don't know if that's good though. Doesn't buying bots like kill your channel because YouTube knows that you're buying bots, and so then you do worse? I've heard something like that. College in this time, linear algebra, and real analysis. That's a great mix. That is a great mix. I guess I can close this tab. Yeah. So what are we gonna do? I think tomorrow, lots of people have been asking about spectral sequences. So, we got to figure out what we're going to read tomorrow. Arad did. I mean, I legally purchased this book. I legally purchased this book, but I'm wondering, yeah, maybe we could do this, but it seems, I don't know, part of me is like, well, it seems complicated, and they don't give all the details of this computation, but then again, I'm like, well, maybe that's fine, they just tell me the answers, and then I do the computations. What's up? Brian TP discovered my channel, and you think the stuff I'm covering is cool? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Math and computer science, taking discrete math, getting cooked by discrete math. Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is I'm teaching discrete math, but the bad news is it's next semester, so that can't help you now. But yeah. It's like 90% sure I'll actually be like the course instructor. In which case, you can probably expect that I will be putting out a lot of discrete math videos. So for some of you that will be sad because, you know, you're more interested in my advanced mathematics videos, which are not going to stop altogether, certainly not. And I'll still probably live stream every morning and everything. But yeah, you can expect a lot more of my regular uploads to probably be stuff on discrete math and how to prove things. So just because I'll be so in that zone. And hey, yeah, I'll be honest, the discrete math videos are probably going to have a wider audience than my more advanced math. So, but I like the idea of having my channel being, approachable, having something for everyone. And by everyone, I mean people who are at least enrolled in an undergrad in mathematics. Or, you don't necessarily need to be enrolled in undergrad. That's a beautiful thing. You can teach yourself through my videos. Boris, you've been busy. You keep taking on additional responsibilities. Whoa, retwinning right now. I used to do that a lot more the last couple of years. I've been better at that, but yeah. So, yeah, let's see. Maybe this one. This is an option. Yeah. Maybe there's other ones. Oh, there's a bunch of spectral sequence things here. So yeah, maybe this one. There is a paper I have on my desktop that I would like to understand. And yeah, something about operads for spectral sequences. What's on the agenda today? Nothing really. I don't have any set agenda for today. I'm meeting a friend. For, well, at a coffee shop. I don't know if I'll have more coffee. I'm trying to limit the coffee I have. But gonna go meet a friend this morning, so definitely be done stream before 8:30. I'll tell you that much. But this paper that mixes together operads and spectral sequences. So this is actually why I was looking at operads the other day on stream. But so I kind of want to understand this. So maybe we could spend time here, but maybe I should spend time elsewhere. I don't know. Some other examples from group theory would be good. I don't know if people... what's a T on decaf? Well, the important thing is, so I found, for example, decaf does not mean caffeine-free. It just means very, very little caffeine. And so I prefer to avoid that, definitely if it's later in the day. Also, I find, placebo effect thing, like my body will definitely get tricked. So I just opt in those cases for an herbal tea, usually. But because herbal never had caffeine to begin with. Yeah. As a current management student in college who wants to get a master's degree in math applied to economics and management, what do you think you should get to learn? You only have calculus and algebra. Hello, Castakori. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know a ton about the math that's applied to economics and management. So I'm not 100% sure what you should be learning there. Economics, probably you want to lean more into statistics, I'm guessing. That's going to be your friend. So I'd probably brush up on the statistics. That's in general probably just going to be useful for economics and management, I would imagine. Your best bet is, I don't really know. So I think you'll have to do some other searching around on the internet. Maybe there's, yeah, maybe you can find professors or resources that might be better equipped to answer that question. I mean, certainly there should be people out there that can answer your questions in economics. I don't know about management. I don't know about math for management. I haven't really heard of that so much before. Why does the NLab page on Opera Ads have a warning subsection? Let's find out. Oh, you know something monoidal categories, but you don't know why people even care about monoidal categories. Because tensors, man. Opera Ads, NLab. What's the math class I struggled with most during my undergrad? Probably analysis 1. Because my whole life I just never studied and never did homework, and I got terrible grades, but you know, I didn't care because I felt like I understood everything in class, and that's what mattered to me. But to simply keep up with the course, suddenly in analysis, I had to do like 20 hours of studying a week, and that, you know, didn't even get you an A. So that's the course I say that turned me into a mathematician. And after, of course, I took harder courses and more advanced courses after that, but it's like they weren't harder to me because, you know, I had gotten my head out of my ass and I was like, oh, working hard is fun, actually. So what are we reading today? I don't know, a bunch of different stuff. We're trying to figure out. I'm probably gonna go back to spectral sequences officially tomorrow. Unofficially, I'm back to it today, I guess. But trying to figure out where to go with that. By the way, you want to get into math applied to economics is just an option. You don't know if you have any suggestions for your master's related to math. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe just in general, look into masters in applied mathematics. I mean, there's a book, All the Math. It's called All the Math You Missed But Need to Know for Grad School. Probably you don't need to know all of it, but like that's a good book to go, you know, start looking into and seeing, you know, there's a bunch of stuff on the checklist. Especially, you know, go grab yourself a copy of that book, start looking up things that are in that book, and then also start looking more into your interests about like applications, you know, possibly to economics or something, and then, you know, circle the topics that are at the intersection. A microcosm principle, if you want to construct monoids in a category, it has to be monoidal. If you want them to be symmetric, it has to be symmetric monoidal. Okay. Where's the warning? Towards a doctrine of operades. Wow. What sort of cult ideology am I getting into here? Koszul duality. Yeah. Where's the warning? You only cared about them enough to define enrich categories and then never looked back. What's the weirdest field I encountered? Weirdest field I encountered. I don't know. I mean, when we saw on stream the other day that guy was trying to attack P versus NP using algebraic geometry. That's pretty weird. I mean, apparently it hasn't panned out all that great. The moonshine, right? Monstrous moonshine. That's pretty weird. Monstrous moonshine is pretty weird. What else is pretty weird? I think arithmetic topology is pretty weird, but it's maybe like less weird because we kind of understand it. I also saw a master's thesis. I mean, I guess it's not a field, but there's that master's thesis on cohomology and statistics. If you want your category to have products, it means you want the functor to be representable. Oh, really? That's the same thing? Having products is the same as that functor being representable? I guess that makes sense. You had to work in the field of meromorphic functions on connected, open, non-Stein complex manifold. Maybe I don't know how weird that is, but that seems... Nothing about that seems like too crazy, but I guess maybe once you get into the weeds, things get weird. I don't know. Bro scrolled past the contents. Yeah, why would I ever read the contents? Where's the warning? I don't see warning. Do I think AI will ever have the potential to prove anything crazy like Collatz or the Riemann hypothesis? Well, why not? Why not, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't it? Like, these things are only going to get better with time. And it's just like pattern matching words, right? So, put these things into proof assistance so they're more constrained with the mathematical statements that they're guessing. And yeah, and then you could imagine, so of course, you just have a computer program, right, first, that iterates over all possible combinations of symbols. Well, eventually you'll prove every theorem that you can prove, right? It'll take, an order of time, the more complicated the theorem, you go on and on and on and on and on. And it, could take billions of years to prove, like, something about the direct sum of vector spaces or something. But so, yes, of course it could, because, like, just a stupid computer program could, right? Okay, but that's not a very good answer to the question because, of course, you're asking that, could it output this in a reasonable amount of time? Well, sure. I mean, one of the things that AI can be viewed as, not necessarily as a thinking machine, but it's just a searching machine that will cut down the search space, right? It'll just make better approximations to guesses, by mimicking other human proofs. I mean, the thing is, I think because the AI is trained on human data, I don't think if the proof is too far away from the things that we've currently thought of, then I think it will be hard for it to come up with that proof, right? Because it's just sort of trained on the ways that humans currently think about those proofs, right? The other thing, though, is, I don't know, you could try and train it. I could imagine just like, because you can train a chess engine by feeding it a bunch of human games, or you can train the chess engine by having it play itself a million times. And so I could imagine somehow trying to train it by giving it theorems, names of theorems, right, statements of theorems that humans care about. So it still gets trained on the data of what humans care about, but you don't necessarily train it on proof techniques. You just let it. It would have to run for a very long time, though, probably, to try and prove things like on its own. And there, I could imagine, like much like in chess, where the AI has started, by playing against itself, it's suggested like move orders that we wouldn't have considered, but then, in hindsight, we're like, oh, that makes sense. I could imagine it does something like that. All the lean heads are taking AI extremely seriously. Yeah. You're almost going to university, but you're kind of divided between math and physics. You really like the mathematical description of the universe, but you don't like empirical stuff. Should you go to pure math? I guess. I guess. More job opportunities to physics. More opportunities for you to bail to industry and make millions on the stock market if if you don't get physics postdocs. So I don't know. That's my perspective now as someone on the job market. Yeah. I mean, there's also theoretical physics, right? So I don't know. Probably the ideal thing, keep your options open. That's probably the best thing to do. Keep your options open. Keep learning math, keep learning physics. The fact there's something called monad construction used to construct instanton solutions to Yang-Mills equations. As far as you can tell, has nothing to do with category theories, monads. Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, I said maybe I would go back to... Oh, hi, Matthias. I said maybe I'd go back to spectral sequences tomorrow, but it seems like chat is popping off way more just doing regular office hours. There's something... yeah. Are there any interesting applications of cohomology to statistics? Well, I saw one, like, master's thesis or PhD thesis. I don't know if it's a whole field or something, but it's under section 3. Oh, yeah, warning. I guess I do need glasses. Warning. Go to warning. Why isn't it going to warning? Okay. Preparation. Warning. By abusive notation, we also denote the pre-sheaf category by this, equipped with a monoidal structure induced by the cardinal sum. Okay. Since this is a pre-sheaf, it is co-complete, and since the day convolution is co-continuous, day man, oh, convulsion of the night man, oh. In each of its separate arguments, we say that this is symmetric monoidally complete. Okay. I don't see what all the fuss is about either. I mean, just warning, there's like more than one monoidal structure we consider. Okay. Okay. Do I think it's reasonable to study functor and category in year 2 undergrad course? Yeah, it's not unreasonable, I guess, but... Well, what do you mean? Do you mean for an individual to study this? As an individual with a lot of math experience, sure, there's plenty of bright undergrads. I know undergrads, second-year undergrads that are learning category theory. Is it reasonable to put that in a course? I don't think it's unreasonable necessarily. Like a book like a Luffy tries to teach group theory, and introduce category theoretic language along the way. The only hang up to that, because category theory, it itself is not... Like, the basics of it isn't particularly difficult, right? It's not super deep. A lot of the proofs aren't, they're super, like, there's a lot of stuff you can do just knowing the definitions. You don't have to be clever. You don't have to write a long proof. However, it can be very hard to understand why you would care or to draw on examples if you're only... the average second-year undergrad student has not seen all of these different fields of mathematics in detail: differential topology, geometry, algebra, blah, blah, blah. And the power of category theory is uniting all of these examples. So the main issue I would see is that it's kind of unmotivated. I missed your clarification on what you meant by field. Ooh, where did you clarify? I mean field. Oh, as in division ring. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. What's the weirdest division ring I've seen? I don't know. I can't remember anything. I mean, the only division ring I'm thinking about right now is the Quaternions, which is not that weird. Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I know I've seen weirder ones. But I can't think of anything right now. Um, you might have said U16 is isomorphic to U24 in your exam. Oof, rough. You might have also said that 155 is prime. Damn, bro. Call you a technophobe, but it'd be so cringe for the Riemann hypothesis to be proved by AI. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. More knowledge? Okay, great. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't see why it would be cringe. Wouldn't be cringe to me. Yeah. Is a four-color theorem cringe because it's a computer-assisted proof? I mean, I guess it'd be nice to somehow understand, to have a slicker explanation, but whatever. Reminds you of the monkey bashing a keyboard and eventually writing a Shakespearean work? Yeah. Yeah. Except, actually, this would be more efficient, right? Because that's random. So you could get some, like, yeah. If the computer just goes through and enumerates all like logically valid strings in some ordered sequence, it would be technically faster. Still on, you wouldn't get anything interesting until like things on the order of the age of the universe, but it'd be so funny just to say monkey bashing a keyboard on a student's assignment and nothing else. A field with a total ordering and an absolute value with respect to which all Cauchy sequences are convergent has the supremum property. How do you prove that? Well, I mean I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head because but yeah, I mean this is essentially just the proof. Is that the I feel like the way that you've worded that maybe isn't oh, actually no, yeah, you could no, maybe I was going to appeal to the classification of R, but like the axiomatic description of R is the unique real totally ordered field or whatever, but I mean this is kind of that. How do you prove that? Yeah, that's not so bad because what do you need to do? You need to prove that every ordered you need to prove that every non-empty set that's bounded above say has a supremum, right? So take some upper bound alpha, and now you can construct and then somehow you use Cauchiness, right? So you just construct a sequence since it's an ordered field. You just construct an increasing sequence. Yeah. So yeah, should be easy. Something like that, right? But how do we know that there's always going to be something in between these two things? Yeah, it can't just be an upper bound, I guess. It can't just be an upper bound. Well, mind you, oh yes, of course, because if there's nothing in between, If there's nothing in between, then of course this is the soup. So you can, so yeah, of course you can keep choosing stuff. And then, yeah, I guess the trick is maybe you need to explain why that sequence would end up being Cauchy, but that's not so bad either, I don't think. Your prof is cooking on class right now? Nice. Big difference between learning what's a functor and actually studying theorems in category theory. Yeah, that's true. What's good? What's good? I'll tell you what are good. Primes when you mod out. Oh, it's 8:22. I gotta go. Yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna be able to answer any of these other questions in chat. I do not think that category theory specializes too much. And no, at no point does it become literal nonsense. Field for division ring is slightly odd. Yeah, but it happens. Non-commutative field sometimes gets used. Yeah, therefore inverting the cringe factor. Yeah, like what if AI proves some theorem that, I don't know, like helps us in like cancer treatment or something, you know? Have I published my work in any journal? Yes. I have one publication and 2 preprints on archive. Just Google my name. You'll find stuff. Yeah. Hello, Fimno. Yeah, sorry, I gotta go. Yeah, I am like 10 minutes behind chat. So, I don't know. Will I go back to spectral sequences tomorrow? I don't know. There's a lot of interesting questions, so I may break that promise. Anywho,